Welcome to our immigration briefing show. Today, we kick off with a dramatic story from Wisconsin where Judge Hannah Dugan has stepped down after being convicted of helping an undocumented immigrant evade arrest in her courtroom. Her actions sparked national attention, and her resignation came amidst political pressure and debates over judicial independence. Next up, a tragic boat capsizing off the coast of Gambia has left over 100 migrants missing and 7 confirmed dead. The boat, carrying more than 200 people seeking a better life in Europe, grounded on a sandbank, prompting a massive rescue effort. Authorities are investigating the cause, but this heartbreaking incident highlights the perilous journeys many migrants undertake. Finally, in New York City, Mayor Zohran Mamdani faces 4 major hurdles as he tries to implement his bold plans for social programs, safety, and affordable living. Balancing city resources, political support, and community needs will be key as he works to reshape the Big Apple. Please continue to stay tuned for more detailed stories. According to Yahoo US, Judge Hannah Dugan of Wisconsin, renowned for her 9-year tenure on the Milwaukee County Circuit Court, found herself at the center of a national controversy after she was convicted of obstructing federal immigration authorities. The incident that sparked the outrage involved her confrontation with FBI and ICE agents outside her courtroom, where she directed them away from an undocumented immigrant, Eduardo Flores Ruiz, who was attending a hearing. Dugan's actions, which included guiding the immigrant through a private jury door and advising his attorney that he could attend his next hearing via Zoom, led to her arrest and subsequent conviction. Faced with mounting political pressure and threats of impeachment from Republican lawmakers, she chose to resign, asserting her decision was driven by the need to protect judicial independence amid an unprecedented legal battle. The Reuters report adds that Dugan's case unfolded amidst the broader context of the Trump administration's efforts to tighten immigration enforcement at local courthouses, which had been a contentious issue between federal authorities and local officials. Her legal team argued that her actions were in line with a courthouse policy designed to alert staff about ICE presence, and she maintained her innocence, emphasizing her dedication to justice and her commitment to treating all individuals with dignity. The case drew significant attention because it symbolized the clash between federal immigration policies and local judicial discretion, especially as the Trump administration sought to weaken restrictions on immigration enforcement, leading to heightened tensions and political battles over judicial independence. The Toronto Star highlights that Dugan's resignation came after intense political scrutiny and plans for her impeachment by Republicans following her conviction for felony obstruction. She reflected on her decade-long career, emphasizing her commitment to justice, dignity, and courtroom decorum, but acknowledged that the legal proceedings against her had become a distraction. Her case was notably politicized, with President Trump citing her as an example of the administration's aggressive immigration policies, while Democrats viewed her prosecution as an attempt to intimidate judges who oppose such measures. Dugan's departure underscores the deep partisan divides over immigration enforcement and the vulnerability of judicial independence in politically charged environments, illustrating how a single courtroom incident can escalate into a national debate over law, order, and human rights. The BBC reports a transformative upcoming Welsh Senate election, set to be the largest in history with 96 seats, introducing new constituencies and a proportional representation system that could threaten Labour's long-standing dominance. During a lively debate featuring representatives from Labour, Conservatives, Plaid Cymru, Liberal Democrats, and Greens, key issues such as healthcare, immigration, and education emerged. The Conservatives claimed the NHS was broken and hinted at health service restructuring, while Labour focused on primary care and reducing waiting lists. Immigration was a hot topic, with Plaid Cymru emphasizing the vital role of immigrants in social care, and others warning against policies that could harm public services. Education priorities were discussed, with Labour's focus on measurable targets sparking criticism, yet consensus remained that education needs urgent attention. Notably, Reform declined participation but still heavily influenced the conversation, especially on immigration, hinting at their rising influence and social media strength, which could reshape the political landscape. The South China Morning Post highlights a remarkable surge in mainland Chinese tourists visiting Hong Kong during the New Year holiday, with nearly 660,000 arrivals, a 72% increase from the previous year. This influx invigorated hotel occupancy and boosted the hospitality sector, with some hotels reaching 95% occupancy and raising room rates by over 10%. Visitors flocked to iconic sites like the Peak, the Peninsula Hotel, and Hong Kong Disneyland, sharing their experiences on social media and bringing a festive buzz to the city. Despite the holiday's success, retail sales remained modest because tourists, often budget-conscious, favored souvenirs and affordable stores over luxury goods. The fireworks show, cancelled out of respect for recent tragedy, was replaced with a countdown, but authorities are encouraged to host larger celebrations to extend tourist stays and maximize economic benefits. The tourism boom demonstrated Hong Kong's resilience and appeal, even amid ongoing challenges. The Toronto Star offers an intimate look into Canada's immigration system through Neil Cochrane's memoir, revealing the human stories behind policy and bureaucracy. Cochrane's 34-year career as an immigration officer spanned face-to-face interactions that deeply impacted lives, helping refugees, students, and families navigate complex procedures. His stories depict moments of compassion and heartbreak, such as a Malaysian student's heartfelt gratitude or women caught in love scams seeking to stay in Canada. Over the years, systemic changes transformed the process from personal meetings to impersonal online forms, risking the loss of vital human connection. Cochrane laments the system's drift off the rails, criticizing recent cuts that hinder permanent residency pathways for Ukrainians and Hong Kongers, and expressing concern about the depersonalization of immigration decisions. His memoir humanizes an often misunderstood bureaucracy, emphasizing that behind every application is a person with hopes, fears, and life-altering dreams, reminding us that immigration is fundamentally about people. Myanmar's military government, as reported by the Associated Press, took a significant step on its independence anniversary by releasing over 6,100 prisoners, including some foreigners, in a gesture that appears to be both symbolic and strategic. The amnesty, led by Senior General Min Aung Hlaing, did not clarify whether political detainees, especially prominent figures like Aung San Suu Kyi, were among those freed, fueling skepticism about the true scope of the release. The country remains deeply divided, with thousands of political prisoners detained on vague charges such as incitement, and the ongoing military crackdown continues to face widespread resistance, both peaceful and armed. The anniversary celebrations in Naypyidaw, marked by a flag-raising ceremony, contrast sharply with the grim reality at Yangon's notorious insane prison, where families gathered in hope but left uncertain about the fate of their loved ones, especially Suu Kyi, who remains imprisoned on politically charged charges after her 2021 ousting. This release, while seemingly a gesture of mercy, underscores the fragile and tumultuous state of Myanmar's political landscape, where hopes for genuine change are often overshadowed by military control and repression. Meanwhile, in Kentucky, the local scene tells a story of economic resilience and cautious optimism, as detailed by the Yahoo U.S. report. Unemployment rates across 116 counties have declined, with Daviess County's rate dropping to 4.2%, signaling a steady recovery in the job market. The region's real estate market is also vibrant, with median home prices around $235,953 and an active market that averages 104 sales per month, reflecting increased economic activity. Local businesses like Terrapin Construction are investing heavily, exemplified by a $1.4 million permit for a new office building, while institutions such as German American Bank gain recognition for their stability and service. State officials highlight a record-breaking year for investments, with nearly $10.5 billion in private sector projects creating thousands of jobs and boosting wages to historic highs. Retail spending during the holiday season also saw growth, with a 4.2% increase, indicating consumer confidence. Yet, amid this economic upswing, concerns linger about health and longevity, as Kentucky ranks among states with the lowest life expectancy after age 65, revealing disparities that persist beneath the economic progress. Off the coast of Gambia, a tragic scene unfolded as a boat carrying over 200 migrants capsized on New Year's Eve, according to the Associated Press. The incident has left dozens missing, with only 102 survivors and 7 bodies recovered so far, as rescue teams, local fishermen, and volunteers scramble to find the missing. The Atlantic route from West Africa to Europe remains one of the deadliest, with countless migrants risking their lives in hopes of reaching Spain's Canary Islands, often with devastating results. Previous tragedies, such as the August 2025 incident that claimed around 150 lives, underscore the perilous nature of irregular migration along this route. The Gambian government has activated its emergency response, searching for victims near Jinak village, while President Adama Barrow condemns the tragedy as a stark reminder of the dangers faced by those seeking a better life abroad. He has promised a thorough investigation and vowed to strengthen efforts to prevent such perilous journeys, emphasizing the need for safer, more dignified opportunities for young Africans. This heartbreaking event highlights the ongoing humanitarian crisis and the desperate measures taken by many to escape poverty and instability, often at the cost of their lives. BBC reports on the ambitious yet challenging agenda of New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani, who, on his first day in office, vowed to reshape the city into a place of safety, affordability, and abundance. His platform, rooted in progressive ideals, includes plans for universal childcare, free public transportation, and city-run grocery stores. However, delivering these promises faces significant hurdles, especially in funding, as the city and state grapple with budget shortfalls. Mamdani's proposal to increase taxes on the wealthy and corporations hinges on political support from the state government, which is uncertain, especially given the political calculations of Governor Kathy Hochul. The relationship with President Trump adds another layer of complexity, with the former president's hostile rhetoric and threats of withholding federal funds contrasting Mamdani's immigrant-friendly stance. Despite initial animosity, their first meeting was surprisingly cordial, though ideological differences remain, particularly on immigration policy. Mamdani's outreach to business leaders, including J.P. Morgan Chase's Jamie Dimon and real estate magnate Jeffrey Gurrell, signals an attempt to forge cooperation, but concerns about his youth and inexperience persist. His approach to public safety, including the creation of a Department of Community Safety, aims to address crime and mental health issues, but the effectiveness of these initiatives remains to be seen, with many watching to see if his leadership can unify the city's diverse interests and implement his bold vision. The Independent details the troubling case of a former ICE detention officer, David Corvell, who pleaded guilty to sexually abusing a Nicaraguan woman detained at the South Louisiana ICE Processing Center. His misconduct, involving multiple sexual encounters and the smuggling of gifts, highlights the broader crisis of abuse within ICE facilities, which have seen a surge in reports since the Trump administration intensified deportation efforts. These reports include allegations of sexual assault, forced labor, and brutal treatment, with detainees suffering from inadequate medical care and inhumane conditions. Civil rights groups have filed complaints against these facilities, revealing systemic issues and the alarming prevalence of abuse, especially in privately operated detention centers, which dominate the ICE detention system. The case against Corvell underscores the urgent need for oversight and reform amidst a backdrop of deteriorating conditions, with federal courts intervening to improve detainee treatment. The story paints a stark picture of the human toll of immigration enforcement policies and the ongoing struggle to protect vulnerable populations in detention. Associated Press reports on the recent termination of healthcare coverage for approximately 15,000 adult immigrants in Minnesota, following the state's decision to end coverage for those in the country illegally through Minnesota Care. Enacted during a Democratic-led legislature in 2023, the law initially expanded access to low-income health services, marking a progressive milestone. However, political divisions led to a legislative reversal, leaving many immigrants without insurance and vulnerable to untreated illnesses. Advocates like Ma Elena Gutierrez warned that the loss of coverage will likely result in delayed medical care, increased health risks, and higher emergency room costs, straining community clinics that serve uninsured populations. Despite efforts by healthcare providers to offer uncompensated care, financial sustainability remains a concern, with providers worried about the long-term impact on access and public health. The decision has sparked outrage among Democratic lawmakers and immigrant advocates, highlighting the ongoing political debate over immigration policy and social services, and emphasizing the challenges faced by immigrant communities in accessing essential healthcare amid shifting policy landscapes. According to the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, Anastasia Golubieva, a 19-year-old Russian-born figure skater, has been granted the opportunity to compete for Australia at the upcoming 2026 Milano Cortina Olympics thanks to a recent amendment to the Australian Citizenship Act. Despite competing internationally since 2021 with her partner Hector Giotopoulos Moore, Golubieva only secured her citizenship 6 weeks before the Games, after a legislative change that allows the Australian Home Affairs Minister to waive the usual 180-day residency requirement for athletes whose overseas travel benefits Australia. This change was prompted by a request from the Australian Olympic Committee and introduced amid Golubieva's challenging training schedule, which involved extensive travel across the Northern Hemisphere, making it difficult to meet the residency criteria. The legislation now provides the minister with discretionary power to approve citizenship in exceptional cases, enabling Golubieva to realize her Olympic dream. Her journey underscores the sacrifices and hurdles faced by elite athletes striving for international representation, and her relief and pride upon receiving citizenship highlight the significance of this legislative shift. With their Olympic debut set for February 15, Golubieva and Giotopoulos Moore are eager to perform at their best, fulfilling a childhood dream amid both excitement and the inevitable pressure of competition. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.